Hello everyone, welcome to a new video of the indicator store, and today I want to show you a very useful way to backtest a setup. Let's say that, for example, you want to trade the slope of a line. We already saw this several times, but let's say we have an HMA 34, no? And we say, let's make it more visible. We want to trade each time the line changes the slope. Okay, when it is going up, we enter long. Here we enter short, long, short. Then we can filter by something else. You know, if you have markers, this is a very simple procedure. I'm going to change the color like this. Okay, we can use marker slope for that. So we go to add marker slope, and on the input series here we place the indicator and the line that we want to measure. For example, HMA 34, and it is going to draw a histogram that represents the slope of the line. You can see when the slope is big, the slope is to the upside and the angle is very high. When it is 0, this is a turning point. Okay, so those are our signals. The crossovers by 0 are the signals. Even more, you can say, okay, when this, for example here, when it is too small, the slope is slightly negative, and you can see the effect here. You can see that this is negative but not too much, but if we zoom, you can see it is negative. But maybe we want to apply a threshold to avoid having a short signal like this arrow. We can change the arrows by something more visible. Okay, so we can remove this short signal by applying a threshold. How can I calculate the threshold? We can draw a horizontal line, and visually we can see here the level that we need for that threshold. If my level, for example, is 1.5, then this slope is lower than that. That means on the marker's slope, we have a parameter threshold, and if we apply this threshold 1.5, then this is negative but not enough to change the slope. You can see that the histogram don't change the color, and also we don't get a signal at all. Now, okay, this looks very simple. Now, how can I backtest this? We have another tool. This tool needs arrows. Okay, so let's replace again the signals by arrows. So marker slope, we can select any signal. For a long, I want an arrow up. For a short, an arrow down. This is important for the following tool. Okay, on the following tool, let me go back to the 0 threshold. Okay, no threshold, so we get a lot of signals. Even the short that we saw here, no, this one, this here. Okay, now we can apply a tool that looks at all the arrows and simulates a trade. Let me show you. This is the indicator, and then we can decide how many contracts and how many targets. Let's say a simple example of only one contract with 200 ticks for the stop and 200 ticks for the target number 1. Everything else is disabled. Okay. Now we can click on Run Backtest and we get something like this, where this report comes from this. Let me show you with more detail. Each entry, each trade, for example, let's take a look at this long, no? This arrow. This arrow is painted at the end of the green bar. So now we have an entry. This line is the entry. And also it is showing a possible target and a possible stop. It is also reversing, so there is no target, no stop, but then it reverses and then reverses again. This new reversal has a new target and a new stop. And at the bottom, you can see the equity curve here. Okay, this same equity curve is what we saw here. And now you can start playing with the settings, like for example, using threshold is a good idea or not. We only need to edit marker slope and add the threshold, for example, 1.5. Okay, and now we need to execute the backtest again. Now we don't get that short that was here, only the long. Let's execute the backtest again. Now the profit factor is smaller, interesting. And also the equity curve is not so good. So we can keep testing this. Also, we can increase the target, the stops. Let's say, I don't know, maybe if we increase the stop, no? Let's say instead of 200 for the stop, let's say 300. Okay, and now we backtest again. Now the profit factor is 1.9 and we can see the equity curve. Something also more interesting is that you can train an AI model. Okay, so the idea is each one of those trades has settings that can be entered into an AI model that you can train. And then we have a result with a filter, and that filter has a new result that we can see on this column. We have the original, and this other column we have the new result, and also we get the old equity curve and the suggested equity curve. Okay, and now we can use that output, the current output, as a filter on markers. So we can improve even more the settings. Let's see an example. All of you may know the templates that we execute on YouTube Live. This is my YouTube Live channel, and you can see here is my URL. All the days we project live templates. Here we can see an example where live we trade 5 setups on Standard & Poor's, 5 setups on Nasdaq. I optimize those setups manually, but let's say we choose one of them, no? For example, this one, the ATR Trend on Standard & Poor's. And this is how it is working currently. It has this ATM. As you can see, it is using 192 ticks for the target, 80 for the stop, and currently it is disabled. Okay, now how can I make it work in this model? Because we need arrows, and we know those templates. This is something that can happen if you want to use this tool with something that is not using arrows. No problem, because the indicator has those big triangles, and then we are copying those signals with those small triangles. Let me show you the format. Usually we have the indicator, we copy the signals, and then we automate those signals. Okay, here we copy the longs, we copy the shorts, and that's all. Now, let's say that we copy the long signals, but not as a fast signal. No, as a variable. Okay? Just doing that, Markers is not going to detect anything because Markers is waiting for a fast signal. Now there are no more fast signals. Now we only have variables. But we can use those variables to draw arrows. Example. I can add a Markers logic where my logic is only if the variable go long exists. This is a variable created by this copy, because now it is not a fast signal. Now it is a variable. So on the logic, I check if the variable go long exists, then draw an arrow. Simple, no? So arrow up in color green, and we can place it, I don't know, let's say below the market, more or less 200 ticks. This marker logic should be using the same link ID than the copies. Okay, and the copies on those templates are a string that we need to use the same. Okay, same link ID, and we check the same variable. The variable created by this copy with the same link ID. Now they should match. Okay, now we can see the arrows and also the signals. Again, this is for visual. This. Not only for visual, but also so the tool can detect and estimate. Now we do the same for the shorts. Okay, so I can copy, paste, and do the shorts. For the shorts, I only need to check that go short exists. And if it exists, then I can draw an arrow down over in color red. Simple. Even more, we can create a fast signal, the same fast signal. Okay, now this is a fast signal, this is a variable. Okay, so I am bypassing, doing a bypass between Markers and the tool. Okay, and the same for this should be go short. Sorry, go short, and it should create the fast signal go short, and the other logic checks the variable go long and creates the variable go long. Okay, we can place all of this together. That means that now the system is working again, because this copy is copying the signal in a variable. Then the logic is looking at that variable to print an arrow and also to create the fast signal that Markers is going to execute. But this is not the main goal. We want to know the performance. So we can add the tool, LogikLab, we are using this ATM. Okay, this ATM means 192 for the target and 80 for the stop. Now we can run a backtest and we get a nice result. Okay, let's see now if we another tool that we have is training the model. We can click on train. And now we have the optimized version of this, which is an even better equity curve. You can see all the details below with the trades, etc. Also, there is a nice analysis of the timing here, no? No, this is the time in the trade. This is the time profile where it is working better, the time of the day. But the idea is, okay, I like this model. How can I use it in automatic mode? Now we have the option to save this profile. We can save, for example, this is ATR Trend on 5 minutes. Save. Now the profile is saved. Now we can remove all this. We can also remove the logic because really we don't need to copy and restore the copies as fast signal. We can remove everything that we added. Okay, now the copies are fast signals. But we can add a filter. And my filter is, let's copy the other indicator, the probability. Okay, so we can use, we can add a markers copy where the link ID is the same, of course. And this is the probability, and I get that from the other indicator, from the probability, using which profile? The one that we saved recently, the ATR Trend in 5 minutes. Okay, I want to draw this profile in histogram format. So bar, it is drawn at the bottom, and something that we can use is trade only is the I forgot to place it on a new panel, so we can drag and drop to a new panel. Something that we can do is only execute orders if the probability is greater than 60. How can I do that? This is already copied. Okay, so we only need to add a filter where this variable pro is greater than whatever I want, 60. Let's say 60. Okay, we go to markers. This is markers, marker plus. We enable the filter. It is already enabled, and we can say that the probability is greater or equal than 60. Okay, and that's all. Now, if we want to trade the original model, we disable the filter. If we want to trade the optimized by AI model, we can enable the filter by AI. From time to time, maybe we need to train the model again. I am going to place this also live on another server so we can see how it works. Okay, hope this has been useful. For more info, please read on the description of this video or contact me on the chat room that we have on Discord. The access is free. Again, the instructions are on the description of this video. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.